The phase that finishes them, July 1930. The market has been grinding down for 9 months. People are exhausted. And then it accelerates. July, the Dow falls 15%. August, another 12%. September, 18%. It's not a grind anymore. It's a collapse. What's happening is forced liquidation at scale. Individuals who held on hoping for recovery finally give up. They sell. Mutual funds and investment trusts that are getting redemptions have to sell to raise cash. They sell. Banks that need liquidity sell their stock holdings. Insurance companies that are facing claims sell. Everyone's selling. Nobody's buying. And when there are only sellers and no buyers, prices crater. The bid-ask spreads widen to absurd levels. You want to sell 100 shares, the bid is 20% below the last trade. You have no choice. You take it. Because if you don't, tomorrow it might be 30% below. By November 1930, the Dow is at 180, down 53% from the peak, but it's not done. December, another brutal sell-off. The holiday season, normally a time of optimism, is grim. Stores are empty. People aren't buying gifts. They're trying to survive. Banks are failing in larger numbers now. Over 1 every 100 banks failed in 1930. That's 1/300 communities where people lost their savings, where businesses lost their deposits, where the local economy shut down, where trust in the financial system evaporated. And this creates a doom loop. Bank failures lead to business failures. Business failures lead to job losses. Job losses lead to mortgage defaults. Mortgage defaults lead to more bank losses. More bank failures. It feeds on itself. January 1931, unemployment hits 15%. 1 in 6 workers has no job. Industrial production is down 30% from the peak. Steel mills are running at 30% capacity. Auto plants are closed. Construction has stopped. The economy is in free fall. Bread lines are forming in major cities. Churches and charities are overwhelmed. Homeless encampments are growing. Hoovervilles, they're called. Entire communities of people living in shacks and tents because they lost everything. The social fabric is tearing, and the market reflects the despair. February 1931, the Dow hits 160, down 58% from the peak. March 1931, it stabilizes at that level. 18 months from September 1929. This is the 18-month mark. Most of the damage is done. 58% decline, but it's not the bottom. The bottom will come in 1932 at 41, an 89% total loss. But by March 1931, the wealth transfer is largely complete. The people who were forced to sell have sold. The people with cash have been buying at discounts of 50%, 60%, 70%. The wealth that disappeared from middle-class balance sheets has appeared on the balance sheets of the wealthy who were positioned. Joseph Kennedy, who got out before the crash, has been buying aggressively since late 1930. He'll multiply his wealth several times over by the mid-1930s. Bernard Baruch, same story. The Rockefellers, the Mellons, all the old money families, they're buying. Not at the top, at the bottom. This is how generational wealth is built, not by riding bubbles up, by having cash when bubbles burst. This is what July 2026 through March 2027 looks like. The acceleration, the capitulation. The moment when everyone who was holding on hoping for recovery finally breaks, finally sells, and by selling, drives prices even lower, triggering more selling. The unemployment rate will be 12% to 15%. Corporate bankruptcies will be surging. Major companies that were icons will fail or be acquired for pennies. Sears and J.C. Penney already happened. Think bigger. Think names you can't imagine failing. They will. Banks will fail in clusters, not 1 or 2, dozens. The FDIC will be overwhelmed. They have about $130 billion in the Deposit Insurance Fund. But insured deposits are over $10 trillion. If 2% to 3% of banks fail, the fund is depleted. Some depositors will lose money even with insurance. The social and political consequences will be severe. Protests, unrest, calls for radical change, populist movements on both left and right. The political establishment will be under siege, and the stock market will reflect all of it. By March 2027, 18 months from November 2025, the Dow will probably be down 60% to 70%. The S&P will have lost 2/3 of its value. Individual stocks will be down 80%, 90%, some to zero. Trillions in wealth gone, not disappeared, transferred. From those who were forced to sell to those who were positioned to buy, from retail investors to institutional buyers, from the middle class to the wealthy. This is the pattern. This is what happened in 1929 to 1931, and it is what's about to happen in 2025 to 2027. 18 months, the countdown has started. Right now, November 2025, we're at the September 1929 moment. Let me show you why with precision. Signal 1, insider selling. Corporate executives and directors are selling at record levels. In the last 6 months, insider sells have outpaced buys by 20 to 1. That's the highest ratio since 2007, right before the last crash. These are people who know their businesses.